What if the love triangle that shook Harlem was never about love at all? In a shocking twist, Jim Jones has stepped forward to reveal what he calls the darkest secret. Chrissy? Lampkin has ever kept accusing her and Camron of plotting an elaborate fake baby scandal to manipulate him and the media. This revelation has sent shockwaves through the love and hip-hop world, and if what Jim is saying is true, it could destroy Chrissy's reputation forever. The Harlem streets have always been buzzing with drama, but nothing could have prepared fans for the bombshell Jim Jones just dropped. In a revelation that has left both fans and fellow cast members reeling, Jim is claiming that Chrissy Lampkin, the woman he's loved for decades, and his longtime friend turned rival, Camron, were allegedly involved in an elaborate fake baby plot to manipulate him, their circle, and even the public narrative around their complicated relationships. For years, Jim and Chrissy have been the unofficial king and queen of love and hip-hop, New York. Their love story has been filled with fiery arguments, passionate reconciliations, and a stubborn loyalty that made fans root for them despite every red flag. But according to Jim, everything people thought they knew about their relationship may have been built on a carefully orchestrated line, the person helping Chrissy carry out that lie was none other than Camron, Jim's former Dipset brother. Jim's shocking claims surfaced during a recent private interview with a well-known hip-hop journalist. The interview was supposed to be a casual discussion about his music and upcoming projects. But things quickly spiraled when the conversation turned to his personal life. Jim leaned forward, lowered his voice, and said, "People think I stayed with Chrissy all these years because of love, but they don't know what was going on behind the scenes. They don't know what she and Cam tried to pull on me. It was deeper than just relationship drama. It was a setup." The interviewer was stunned. Jim went on to explain that years ago, Chrissy had allegedly told him she was pregnant, news that changed everything for him at the time. He claimed he immediately shifted from being hesitant about marriage to fully planning a future with her. He paused his touring schedule, bought a house, and even quietly got legal documents drafted for a will. But according to Jim, months into the supposed pregnancy, things stopped adding up. Chrissy never let him come to any doctor's appointments. There were no sonograms, no medical records, and every time he asked to be more involved, she allegedly got defensive and accused him of being controlling. "I ain't no fool," Jim said. "I know when something ain't real. I started putting pieces together." What made it worse, he claims, was Camron's sudden involvement. Around the same time Chrissy claimed to be pregnant, Cam allegedly started popping up more often at their house, offering her emotional support and taking subtle digs at Jim for being distant. Jim said he initially brushed it off as Cam looking out for Chrissy as a friend, but now, looking back, he believes it was all part of a plan to play him. Cam was in her ear the whole time, Jim alleged, telling her how to handle me, what to say, how to keep me hooked. He was part of it. They was playing a long game. And I was the prize. Jim said the turning point came when he secretly hired a private investigator after noticing inconsistencies in Chrissy's stories, according to him. The investigator confirmed that Chrissy had never been attending prenatal appointments and that there was no medical record of any pregnancy under her name at the listed clinics. Jim claimed his heart shattered when he realized the truth. There was no baby. But why would Chrissy do something so extreme? According to Jim, it was about control. He claimed Chrissy feared he was drifting away and wanted to lock him down by making him believe he was about to be a father. And Cam, he says, saw it as an opportunity to destabilize Jim emotionally and gain leverage during a turbulent period for Dipset. When you've got people around you plotting on your heart, that's worse than them plotting on your money, Jim said. They knew if they hit me there, they could control me. Jim says he confronted Chrissy in private about the alleged lie. What followed was one of the most explosive fights of their relationship. He claimed she broke down crying, admitted she had miscarried early on, but he says there was never any proof that there had been a pregnancy in the first place. According to Jim, her story kept changing, first a miscarriage, then saying she was never sure if she was pregnant, and later saying she just didn't want to talk about it. She played the sympathy card, Jim said bitterly. And I let her 'cause I loved her. And I didn't want to believe someone I loved could do that to me. He says his trust in her was shattered after that. Their relationship continued, but it was never the same. And things with Camron completely fell apart. Jim revealed that the fake baby incident was one of the main reasons behind his infamous fallout with Cam years ago. At the time, fans thought their beef was over business disagreements and money, but Jim now claims it was personal. People don't know why me and Cam stopped speaking. It wasn't just about no contracts. It was 'cause I found out what he did with Chrissy. Once I knew, I couldn't even look at him the same, Jim said. This revelation explains years of bad blood between the two men, who were once as close as brothers. Their sudden distance had always confused fans, especially since they had built Dipset together from scratch. Now, Jim's claims are reframing that entire history and dragging Chrissy's name deeper into the controversy. After the interview clip leaked, social media exploded. Fans were stunned, with many saying it was the most shocking love and hip-hop related scandal in years. Some said they had always sensed something off about Chrissy's behavior back then. Others defended her, saying Jim's story didn't add up and accusing him of trying to tarnish her image out of bitterness. Meanwhile, insiders claim Chrissy is furious and planning to respond. Sources close to her say she is calling Jim's story a complete lie and preparing legal action if he continues to push it publicly. One insider even said Chrissy believes Jim is only bringing this up now to distract from rumors about his own infidelity. Camron has reportedly remained silent so far, but fans have noticed he's been posting cryptic messages on Instagram, including one that said, "The truth always sounds like hate to people who live in lies." Many believe it was a subliminal shot at Jim. If Jim's claims are true, this could destroy Chrissy's public reputation and permanently erase any hope of reconciliation with Camron. If they're false, Jim could be facing serious backlash for defaming to people he once called family. Either way, this scandal has reopened old wounds and reignited one of the most infamous feuds in hip-hop history while leaving fans desperate for answers. As the dust from Jim Jones's shocking revelation began to settle, the internet was ablaze with theories, accusations, and countless reposts of his confession. Jim had gone on record claiming that Chrissy Lampkin and Camron had orchestrated a fake baby plot years ago, allegedly to manipulate public sympathy and rekindle interest in Chrissy's dwindling spotlight on love and hip-hop. What made the revelation even more scandalous was the implication that Jim himself had been kept in the dark about it until recently, something he described as the ultimate betrayal. The fallout from Jim's words was immediate. Fans were split down the middle. Some argued that Jim had every right to come clean about what he'd discovered, especially if he felt he had been manipulated. Others accused him of trying to smear Chrissy to save face, suggesting that his confession was a distraction from his own rumored infidelities. Meanwhile, Camron, known for his typically unfiltered approach, remained surprisingly quiet. That silence only added fuel to the conspiracy theories that he was hiding from the storm. Behind the scenes, things were even messier. According to several insiders who spoke anonymously to gossip blogs, Jim allegedly discovered the fake baby plot while digging through old communications between Chrissy and Camron. They claimed he had stumbled upon old emails, text messages, and even draft press releases discussing how they could fabricate a pregnancy storyline to gain public sympathy and secure more media coverage. The plan, insiders said, was never fully executed, but just the fact that it was considered sent Jim into a spiral. He felt like his whole life had been played with. One insider alleged, "Imagine thinking you were about to be a father, only to later find out it was all supposed to be fake PR. He's humiliated and he's angry." Meanwhile, Chrissy was said to be livid that Jim had taken the story public without talking to her first. She reportedly confronted him in private, calling his actions a betrayal and accusing him of trying to burn her reputation to the ground. In her view, whatever talks might have happened back then were just jokes and what-ifs thrown around during a tough time, not a real plot, but Jim wasn't buying it. In his eyes, Chrissy had crossed a line by even entertaining the idea, especially with Camron, his former close friend and fellow Dipset member. Their friendship had already been strained for years due to personal and business fallouts. And this revelation felt like the final nail in the coffin. He was already hurt by Camron ghosting him during hard times, said one source. Now finding out Cam might have been plotting something this personal with Chrissy, that just broke him. As all of this chaos unfolded, fans noticed something telling on social media. Jim quietly unfollowed both Chrissy and Camron on Instagram. For longtime supporters of their complicated love story, this was a clear sign that things had reached a breaking point. Chrissy, on the other hand, posted cryptic Instagram stories about fake love and snakes smiling in your face, which only deepened speculation. Adding even more drama to the mix, a leaked voice note began circulating online claiming to be Chrissy speaking with an unnamed woman about pulling off a big surprise for the show. While the voice could not be confirmed as hers, the timing of the leak sent fans into a frenzy. Many pointed out how conveniently it surfaced just as Jim's confession was making waves, fueling rumors that someone from Jim's camp might have leaked it to support his claims. Meanwhile, Camron's camp started pushing back through subtle jabs. One of his close associates posted on social media, "We don't play baby games over here, never have, never will," though he didn't name Chrissy or Jim. Fans immediately interpreted it as a response to the scandal. Yet Camron himself stayed silent, which was unusual enough that even mainstream outlets started questioning why he was hiding from the conversation. Industry insiders also began weighing in. Some claimed this could be career-ending for Chrissy if the public turned on her. Others argued she could bounce back, given how love and hip-hop thrives on controversy and reinvention. What everyone agreed on, though, was that Jim's decision to publicly expose this alleged plot was a massive gamble, one that could backfire spectacularly if he couldn't prove his claims. Behind closed doors, things were reportedly getting more volatile between Jim and Chrissy. Sources close to the couple claimed Jim had temporarily moved out of their shared home, telling friends he needed space to breathe. Chrissy was said to be furious, accusing him of destroying everything they had built just to settle old scores with Camron. Friends who tried to mediate allegedly found themselves caught in the crossfire, with Jim insisting he was done being played for a fool and Chrissy accusing him of humiliating her to the world. And while the personal drama raged on, the professional stakes were climbing too. Executives from Love and Hip Hop reportedly held emergency meetings to decide how to handle the fallout, worried that this scandal could spiral into legal territory if anyone involved decided to sue for defamation. According to one insider, they're panicking because this kind of scandal draws attention. But if it crosses into lies about pregnancy or fake babies, it could get ugly legally. Even Papoose and Remy Ma, who have remained largely neutral in Jim and Chrissy's ups and downs, were allegedly shocked. A source close to them said they both privately told mutual friends they couldn't believe Jim would air something this personal. Papoose said it was crossing a line, the source claimed. He's always been about loyalty, and this to him felt like breaking the family code. As public opinion shifted wildly by the hour, Jim seemed to double down. He gave another cryptic interview saying only the truth hurts. But it's still the truth. Fans who had followed his and Chrissy's story for over a decade couldn't believe how fast everything was unraveling. The love story they had rooted for was collapsing in real time. And Camron's ghostly silence was like a shadow over the whole drama. By the end of the week, what had started as a bombshell revelation was beginning to look like the end of an era. The once glamorous trio of Jim, Chrissy, and Camron were now fractured beyond repair, their shared history poisoned by suspicion and betrayal. And while no one yet knew if Jim had undeniable proof of the fake baby plot, one thing was certain: the damage had already been done. The fallout from Jim Jones's revelation was reaching a fever pitch. What began as a shocking confession had spiraled into one of the most explosive scandals Love and Hip Hop had ever seen. Chrissy Lampkin was no longer staying silent, and her retaliation promised to be just as dramatic as Jim's. Bombshell. Chrissy's first public move came in the form of a tell-all interview with a high-profile entertainment blog. Gone was the composed, glamorous image fans were used to. Instead, she was raw, visibly angry, and ready to set the record straight. "This man is trying to destroy me because he's hurt," she said, voice trembling with both rage and heartbreak. "There was never a fake baby. There was never a plot. The only thing fake is the loyalty I thought I had from him." Her words sent shockwaves through social media. Supporters rallied to her side, accusing Jim of weaponizing private conversations to humiliate her. Others remained skeptical, saying Chrissy was only denying it because the backlash had become overwhelming. In just hours, the hashtag Justice for Chrissy began trending, while hashtag Jim Exposed was also going viral, illustrating just how divided fans had become. But Chrissy didn't stop there. She brought out receipts, or at least what she claimed were receipts. In the interview, she displayed old texts between her and Camron, where they discussed pitching a surprise baby storyline to producers as a joke after a rough ratings slump. In the texts, Camron responded with laughing emojis and a sarcastic comment about naming the baby Dipset Jr. Chrissy. Argued that the messages proved the whole thing was never serious. It was sarcasm, not scheming, she insisted. Still, Jim wasn't convinced. He reportedly watched the interview alone, and friends close to him said he felt even more betrayed. He thinks she's twisting the truth now that the world knows, one insider explained. He swears there were more conversations, ones she's hiding, and that this wasn't just some joke. Meanwhile, Camron finally broke his silence, and his response only fanned the flames. In a now viral Instagram Live, Cam laughed off the entire situation, calling it one of the dumbest things I ever heard. He denied being involved in any plot, saying, "I don't do fake babies. I make hits, not hoaxes." But fans noticed something telling while he defended himself. He didn't explicitly defend Chrissy. That subtle omission reignited suspicion that there might have been some truth to Jim's claims. Cam even took a sly jab at Jim, saying, "If you've got to air out your girl to get attention, maybe the music ain't hitting no more." The comments sparked a firestorm. Jim clapped back in his own Instagram story, writing, "When someone knows they're guilty, they hide behind jokes. But I ain't laughing." The tension had now reached the point of no return. Behind the scenes, producers at Love and Hip Hop were scrambling to contain the chaos. They reportedly offered Chrissy and Jim separate sit-down specials to tell their sides of the story, but under strict legal conditions. As the network feared defamation lawsuits could be coming, insiders claimed Jim was hesitant, saying he was done talking while Chrissy was eager to go on record with her side to salvage her image. In the midst of this media circus, Rashida, Yandi, and even Erica Mena started chiming in online. Rashida posted a cryptic quote about protecting your peace even when they want war, which fans assumed was about Chrissy. Yandi, who has had her own messy public relationship battles, commented under Chrissy's post, "Stay strong. They'll twist anything, Erica." On the other hand, sided with Jim, writing, "Sometimes the truth ain't pretty, but it's still the truth." As alliances shifted, Jim made one more move that stunned everyone. He shared what he claimed were voice recordings of Chrissy crying and apologizing for taking things too far. While the audio was difficult to verify, the emotional tone was undeniable. In it, a woman sounding like Chrissy said, "I thought it would help us. I didn't think you'd ever find out this way." Fans immediately dissected the clip, with some saying it confirmed Jim's story and others insisting it was taken out of context or even fake. Chrissy responded furiously, accusing Jim of illegally leaking private recordings and threatening legal action. He wants to win a public opinion war, And he's willing to break the law to do it, she said in a fiery Instagram post. This is not love. This is character assassination. The situation escalated further when Camron reportedly cut off all communication with both Jim and Chrissy, telling mutual friends he was done being dragged into their drama, a source claimed. Cam was furious that his name had been tied to such a scandal, especially since he had tried for years to keep his personal life low-key. He feels like Jim used him as a pawn to hurt Chrissy. And he's done, the source said. By now the couple's relationship was hanging by a thread. Jim was said to be staying in a hotel while Chrissy remained at their shared home. Friends close to them admitted it looked like a permanent split was coming. They've survived so much over the years, but this is different, one insider said. There's no trust left. Without trust, what do you have? And yet, despite the personal devastation, the scandal was proving to be ratings gold. Clips of Jim's confession, Chrissy's interview, and Cam's shady comments were racking up millions of views. Entertainment sites called it the most explosive love and hip-hop drama in years, while gossip pages treated it like a real-life soap opera. Still, for Jim and Chrissy, the fame boost came at a devastating price. Their love story, once seen as one of reality TV's most enduring romances, was now being dissected as a cautionary tale of betrayal, secrecy, and public humiliation. Fans who had rooted for their eventual wedding were now debating whether they should ever even speak again in a bittersweet twist. Jim posted a late-night Instagram story days later with a single line of text. "Maybe love ain't enough. Chrissy." Hours later, posted a black screen with the words, "Loyalty over love." Every time, it was clear that whatever came next, nothing would ever be the same between them. The fake baby scandal, real or not, had shattered everything they'd built. And in the court of public opinion, both were losing. For now, Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin stand on opposite sides of a war they never imagined they'd be fighting. A war that might cost them not only their reputations, but the love they once believed could survive anything. The love story that once inspired fans has now crumbled under accusations, leaked recordings, and shattered trust. Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin may never recover from this, and the truth about that alleged fake baby plot may never fully come out. Do you think there's still hope for them to rebuild? Or has this scandal burned their relationship to ashes for good? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next shocking twist in this ongoing saga. The most explosive chapter might still be ahead.